have you talked to Nick lately?
I talked to him briefly recently.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, like he's alive. We didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Where's
didn't
that?
talk about anything like for very long, but it was just a quick check-in. I hope he's doing okay.
He doesn't talk to me very much, and I miss him. I used to invite him on my show. I will say that I invited him on my show like once a week, and but it just got to the point where he just couldn't do anything, and I was like, well, I guess I'll stop inviting him because it's kind of making me look like a dumbass, or it makes me look like, what is the word? Needy. I'm like, dude, come on my show. He's like, no. I'm like, fuck. You know what I'm
Yeah, I'll stop asking.
But yeah, dude. Like, I texted him the other day because I was kind of worried. I was like, because there was just like a fucking people were sharing this image on Twitter that's obviously doctored slightly. I don't know where it is. But even it being not doctored, it's brutal. People were sharing this image on Twitter like all day, every day, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because I don't even know what the left image is. But I saw it on Twitter the other day, and I was like, is this even real? Is this like a real image of Nick?
No. Is
like,
that?
God?
Did someone do that?
Because I remember when I first did my stream with Nick, my first stream ever, Nick was like this. And I've seen him 100 times in real life, and like I don't feel like he looks like this right at all.
No, that seems like someone. That's like a filter, right?
I don't know, man.
I feel like someone put a filter. Has he been streaming?
Sometimes. Okay. I try to catch his shows. Like often as I can.
People are saying it's a real image.
I don't know. I don't know if that was I texted him because I was like, you all right, dude? Like, what's going on? I think it was just a bad frame or something.
Dude, angles and lighting. People don't realize the difference angles and lighting makes. Like sometimes people are like, oh my God, so-and-so looks so horrible and old. And it's just because they're in some weird lighting that throws some shadows on their face and it just like shows all this shit. Like that stuff matters.
Well, yeah, and this is why I said this, because I know for a fact this is doctored. Because there's something about like it looks so shiny. This is 100% doctored. And this is why you can't trust people, because I know for a fact that this is a doctored image of Nick. Because you can see it's like got a weird claymation filter on it. It's like completely doctored. This is the fakest shit I've ever seen in my life.
That looks like a painting almost.
Yeah.
That does not look real.
This is definitely a frame. This is like a bad frame. And then they took and put a layer over it to make it look like really weird and sweaty.
Yeah.
But no, like the real image is probably fucked up, not flattering. But that's the thing, man. And you got to just not acknowledge those people that are doing that. Yeah. And I know Nick lately has been acknowledging these people in his chat. I'm like, bro, just don't acknowledge them, please, because when you acknowledge them, they're like it's like the opposite of kryptonite. When you acknowledge them, they fucking get jacked. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go real hard now because he acknowledged me. Don't acknowledge these motherfuckers. Don't talk to them.
Yeah.
You know? Right. So yeah. But they even almost had me convinced because they're posting pictures like this. I'm like, holy shit, what's going on?
The stuff that just people come up with and they think that they know what the fuck they're talking about and they like know their personal lives, to me is just absolutely fun. Like I've heard people say things about me that I'm like, oh really? I did not know that.
Yeah. It's the thing is like, people make up scenarios and then they overtly believe the scenarios.
It's hilarious.
Now the thing is like, with Nick is I know Nick in real life. I have shared a fucking room with Nick. I have shared a suite with Nick. I've traveled with Nick 100 times. Nick's a good dude. And like these people don't know that. Like they couldn't know because they're like on fucking clip channels and they're just watching shit. So like that's the one thing it boils down to. Like that's the one thing that it boils down to, regardless of what's happening. I don't even know. I just haven't talked to him, and I try to sometimes, but he's just fucking, he's got a lot on his plate, and that's probably what's translating into like his schedules and all these things fucking up.
He has a family too, that's a whole other like aspect that people don't sometimes take into consideration.
Yeah, but whatever it is, I hope it gets better because it's obvious that he's been dealing with some shit. So hopefully it gets better for him because I hate dealing with shit. Strifecta in the chat says, stop beating around the bush. He's an alcoholic. Well, of course he is.
Cody's like, yeah, duh.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. You don't drink whiskey every day and not be an alcoholic, bro. That's why I had to cut back on drinking. Last year, I was drinking like 4 days a week. And I was like, all right, this is getting a bit much. I need to stop. So I stopped drinking for 2 months, and then I eased it back in. So I drink like once or twice a week now.